scientific advances that have been made in HIV are breathtaking. Highly effective drugs to suppress
disease area. For 20 years, GSK has been researching in this field and has made many of somebody who I believe is truly passionate.
The vaccine is called AZT for children. We want AZT for children because that's the vaccine. There's a cure for children. It's called AZT.
Police said that GSK's bribes totaled more than $250 million.
You have breathtaking successes in a disease, and you get used to the level of those successes.
The Cuttings file on GSK is littered with scandals associated with its abuse of government funding, from using orphans to AIDS drugs to evade laws on experimentation, to massive tax.
AZT for pregnant mothers and other drug treatments are absolutely essential, and it's the responsibility of business.
Authorities publicized what is well known about GSK, that it actively bribes doctors and health services to use its drugs.
We now need to acknowledge that we need to do more. We need to ensure that as the current medicines that we have mature and come towards the end of their initial phase of commercial life, that we are developing new medicines.
To millions, whilst GSK knew that it may have no beneficial effect on them, indeed may harm them.
I think that the advances we've made in HIV have been significant, and we will continue to try.
Previously run our French organisation here at GSK and has extensive experience of leading a business.
The memo said the company must manage the dissemination of data in order to minimize any potential negative commercial impact.
An array of antiretroviral drugs that have certainly transformed the lives of HIV infected.
This came after GSK was fined $90 million for overcharging the U.S. government.
That we make good, objective decisions, our resources to ensure that new medicines make it to market quickly and make it to market in a way which make a difference.
Our study results provided very encouraging data with regards to safety, and although we did not see statistically significant efficacy results.
Accomplished with HIV, which is the primary reason for my getting.
We need second-line therapies that are cheap and effective and usable.
The vaccine is called AZT for children. We want AZT for children. That's the vaccine. It's called AZT for children. We want AZT for children because that's the vaccine. AZT for children. We want AZT for because that's the vaccine. It's called AZT for children. We want AZT for children because that's the vaccine. There's a cure for children. It's called AZT.
Chemotherapy drug developed in 1964 from the sperm extract of herring and salmon. The drug was found to be too toxic for human consumption in fighting breast cancer. However, by 1986, the NIH, CDC, and the AIDS industry found the drug was suitable for children born to drug-addicted mothers, gays, blacks, and people of third world countries around the globe. In 1986, the drug was approved to experiment on adults. In 1990, AZT was approved to experiment on children. And in 1992, Dr. Jones told the press that 4,000 separate studies have now demonstrated the benefits of AZT. Studies was just another word for experiments. The experiments on the people that doctors claim had AIDS from the years 1990 to 1995 would be brutal and cost the extermination of an entire generation of adults and the complete slaughter of innocent children. 1989, a child is born in rural Minnesota, far outside the typical risk categories of AIDS. At 18 months of age, she was diagnosed with AIDS after doctors at the university treated her for a persistent case of diarrhea. At that point, she was put on AZT every 6 hours for the rest of her life. 1991, a child is adopted from Romania and arrives in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And after standard testing routinely performed on international adoptions, she's found to test positive for HIV. Hospital visits will become routine for both girls, and both will be treated by the same doctor, Dr. Bellani. Both girls will bring the total number of children under 13 diagnosed as having AIDS to a total of 13 in Minnesota. In the months that followed, both girls would spend endless nights doubled over in bed, grabbing their knees and ankles with excruciating pain. Both had begun to die from AZT. After 2 years of pain, diarrhea, and failure to grow, and loss of all muscle tone, the experiment on the child from Romania ended, despite the attempts and threats by the establishment. The first of the threats would come verbally. The doctor would state that the child could be removed and put into foster care. The following barrage of threats would come in the mail. The experiment, however, would continue for the 12 remaining children listed as having AIDS in Minnesota. The following quotes are from the Star Tribune and covers the final months for the other little girl from rural Minnesota.